This is a free stereophonic record. How terribly general. To mark the first anniversary of Capital Radio.
Isn't it good to know Capital Radio? You can turn on the friend, you can turn on the show, you can turn on the world with Capital Radio. Such a good way to make your day. Capital sounds go round and round, London town, up and down. The brightest sound in London town. Capital Radio in tune with London. Capital in tune with London. Capital in tune with London.
Yes, friends, exactly a year ago, Richard Attenborough, Capital's chairman and funky person, turned on the microphone at Euston Tower for the first time and said these words.
The date is October the 16th, 1973. The time, 5 a.m.
And we've never looked back since. In fact, here's Robbie Pooh with the latest news.
The 16th of October, 1974, Robin Houston with Capital News. The first serious radio station in Britain, Capital Radio, is 1 year old today. Telegrams and messages of congratulation have been pouring into Buckingham Palace all day. The Prime Minister said, "We've never had it so good." Her Majesty the Queen's message said, "My husband and I have never had it." I'm sorry, that should read heard it. Ex-President Nixon rang from San Clemente to say he has all Capital's programs recorded on tape, except for a few missing segments. He added that he is not a crook, and anyone who says he is expletive deleted. Gerald Harper, currently in pantomime at West Hartlepool, becomes a life peer, and Robin Ray takes a knighthood. A spokesman at the BBC said earlier this morning, "We are having difficulty fitting our staff into the studios at Euston Tower." A spokesman for Capital Radio said, "We don't quite know what to do with all the space at Broadcasting House, but Michael Aspel says he can find a use for the basement." Robin Houston, Capital News, in tune with London. Oh, well, that's another Capital News under the bridge. You can turn on the phone with Capital Radio.
Oh, good old Robbie Pooh. Yes, friends, 1 year old this week, and to celebrate, all the DJs got together for a party. Let's join them, shall we?
Capital in tune with London. Capital.
I don't believe it.
We thought you'd like to hear some of our jingles as well, and have them for yourselves forever on Disky Pooh. So, here's a little selection.
Isn't it good to know? Capital Radio, in tune with London town. Turn on the friend, you can turn on the show, you can turn on the world with Capital. 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 Capital Radio, in tune with London town. Capital, Capital, in tune with London. Capital, Capital, walk on. This is Capital Radio.
And now it's time
for Gerald Harper.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gerald Harper. Robin Ray and I would like to apologize for Kenny Everett. In spite of everything we did up in the upper offices, he is now back with the breakfast show every morning. He's got Dave Cash to keep him in order, but I mean, well, for heaven's sake, a colonial. Anyway, it'll do nothing to improve your intellect, but it might make you laugh. Robin and I are better.
We'll be right back.
with Robin Ray.
After we've heard this commercial.
Chickens occasionally have their problems, but at the moment, everything's great. Here I am in this beautiful fan-assisted oven with the heat coming on. Nice potatoes for company. It's all because Seaboard are giving people at least £5 for their old electric cookers on a new one now. You really know how to keep a chicken happy.
With a £5 trade-in, it pays to shop at Seaboard now.
I'm turning brown! Look at that! Isn't it good to know? Capital
Hello, my name is Robin Ray, and this is some of my music. It is rather posh, isn't it? I've been asked to do a promotion spot for a show on Capital Radio called The Kenyan Cash Show, but I'm afraid I don't know very much about Kenya, and even less about its financial affairs. So I've called in the help of an acquaintance of mine, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, who I believe has heard the show. Alfred, can you tell us anything?
Yes, these are two young men, a phony American and a dwarf, who, in one fell swoop with their breakfast show, have managed to put the cough back into coffee, the ham into ham and eggs, and the corn into cornflakes. So remember, if you must switch off something, why not switch off the Kenyan Cash Show?
Yeah, I used to do Children's Hour. This was way back in the days of Uncle Mac, you know. And I was in Children's Hour, a Children's Hour serial play. And it was called Counter Spy. And there were two characters in this. There was Lieutenant Commander Gregory Vaughan of Naval Intelligence and James Rocky to You Mountain of the FBI. And I was Rocky. And every week I used to be slugged or drugged or thrown down a lift shaft. And it always ended with me saying, "This is the way, Rocky." Ah! Every week after week. And the producer brought three small boys into the studio one day and said, "These are Counter Spy fans, and this is Rocky." And their faces fell with a tremendous crash down to the knees. They said, "I thought he'd be ever such a big chap, you know."
How old were you then?
About 12.
Really?
Well, give or take a decade. Can I tell you the greatest thrill? The greatest thrill for me in broadcasting was to go to the club at the BBC and find that I was having a drink with the mayor of Toy Town.
You can turn on the